Is my screen through?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, folks, at any time, if you have any questions, you keep putting it on chat. We are monitoring the chat. Priya will take a note about those questions and we will try to answer them during the workshop or during the breaks, or if not possible, we'll do the Q&A at the end as well. So, yes, keep putting the questions on the chat. Okay.
Yeah, one second, Kinnari. I will paste a Slido link. Post your questions there so that, in case even if we don't get time, we can get back to you with the answers once the workshop is nearing end. Yeah, I have pasted the Slido link.
Okay. So could you please do yes on the chat if you are able to access the Slido link? Folks, are you able to access it?
Yes.
Check it.
Okay, awesome. I would just request one thing, that while during the workshop, please try to not unmute yourself, and we will give a chance to you for the Q&As and all. So that time you can unmute yourself and ask the questions, so that the workshop will go seamlessly. Okay, awesome. Getting started. So today's workshop is on building awesome serverless solutions. The agenda of this workshop is that it's going to cover basic AWS services and how to configure them. The focus will be only on the services and not on the programming. So we have already have an application ready. We must have given you a Git link as well. And I hope that you have cloned the repositories and you have your Node.js installed already with a AWS account. Okay. So in today's workshop, we'll be talking about serverless computing. In serverless computing, we'll be talking about what is serverless computing, why serverless computing, how is it different from server full computing, and what are its perks. So that's what we're going to talk about. Then we are going to talk about the services that we're using in building the serverless solution that we are going to show you today. That is DynamoDB, Lambda, API Gateway, and then we'll show a backend demo, and then we'll be going through S3 and CloudFront to show the front end demo, and then we'll have our whole application ready. In the services, we'll be covering what the service is actually, what are its core features, and then we'll do a hands-on. So the workshop is going to be pretty interesting because we'll have hands-on on each and every services, and then we'll have a whole application demo. Okay. So before getting started, can someone put in words what is serverless computing? Can we have some charts? What is serverless computing? If you have any idea.
I think, yes, serverless computing means it doesn't mean that we don't have any server. It means that we don't need to maintain the server. Like
exactly.
AWS maintain how much server we require, how much spaces we require according to our use case.
Correct. That's correct, Srishti. Anyone else? Okay, moving forward. So serverless computing isn't being devoid of servers. The servers exist but are managed by the cloud provider, as our as Srishti said, right? It's not actually, we do have servers, but it's just not managed by us. So then how is serverless computing different from serverful computing? So I have a car analogy over here, okay? Car rental analogy to explain the difference between serverless and serverful computing. Serverful computing is akin to a regular car rental, okay? Pick your car up, drive it, fill it with fuel, maintain it in a good condition for as long as you're using it, and pay for the entire days of use. But in other part, serverless has more in common with an Uber-like setup. You hitch a ride and get out of the vehicle when you have reached your destination. You only pay for what you use. So I hope it is clear what is the difference between serverless and serverful computing with this very simple car rental analogy. Now coming to the definition of what is serverless computing. AWS offers technologies for running code, managing data, integrating applications, all without managing servers. Isn't that amazing? Serverless technologies feature automatic scaling, built-in high availability, and a pay-for-use billing model. to increase agility and optimize cost. These technologies also eliminate infrastructure management tasks like capacity provisioning and patching. So you can only focus on writing code that serves your customer. Serverless applications start with AWS Lambda, an event-driven compute service natively integrated with more than 200 of AWS services and different SaaS applications. So for calling something serverless service, it should have these four basic things. One, the servers need to be hidden. Second, pay only for what you use. Then third is have high availability out of the box. And lastly, you should be able to scale on demand. Now we come to the perks of serverless computing. You must have got an idea of what are the perks of serverless computing. We'll quickly go through what they are actually, okay? The very first one is move from idea to market faster. By this, we mean that you need when you use serverless computing, it eliminates operational overhead. Teams can release quickly, get feedback, and iterate to get market faster. Now, it also lowers your cost. With a pay for value billing model, resource utilization is automatically optimized and never pay for over provisioning. So during explaining of all the services, we'll also go through how is the pricing model for each and every service. So you will come to know about various pricing models of the different services, and that will help you in planning for what model you need for your applications. Okay. Then third one we have as adapt at scale. With technologies that automatically scale from zero to peak demands, adapt to customer needs faster than ever. And that's why serverless computing is very, very useful. Then the last we have is build better applications easier. Since you don't have to worry about the server configurations, the infrastructure and everything, your team can just focus on building the application and not on the configurations part. So it will obviously make your application much better and much easier to build. So now in today's workshop, what application we're going to build will be explained by Keerthana. Keerthana, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so today in the workshop, right, we are not just going to just learn what are the services and just move on. So what we will do is we will also do some hands-on along with it. And by the end of the workshop, you would be having a serverless application. So what application we are going to build is a small, very basic serverless URL joiner. Can you go to the next slide, Kinnari?
Yes.
Okay. And if you see, this is like, this is our architecture diagram. So before getting into the architecture and all, the main thing that we are going to do today is like two operations. One is we have to create a short URL whenever you give a long URL. And whenever you hit the short URL, right, you should be redirected to the long URL. This is the only two things that we are going to do. So if you are all familiar with the existing architecture and all, we would be having front end and back end, right? So in backend, usually what would we would have a controller, which will be talking to a service layer, which will be talking to the repository layer. So if you see in this diagram itself, we have API gateway, which is going to listen to your request. So that becomes our controller layer. And the API gateway will be talking to the lambdas. And these lambdas would be our service layer. It would be handling all the business logic and all. And Lambda will be talking to the DynamoDB, which is our repository layer. All the data will be read and write to this DB. So that is our backend part. Now coming to the front end part, we will be having an application which will be hosted in S3 and will be exposed via CloudFront. Now every user at last would be able to access this CloudFront distribution, and they would be able to hit the URLs and get whatever response they want, whether it be a shortened URL or a long URL. So yep, this is the problem that we are going to address today. I think we can get started with the repository layer, which is DynamoDB.
Awesome. So let's begin with Amazon DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a fast, flexible, no SQL database service for any scale. talking about what is DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a fast and flexible NoSQL database service for all the applications that need consistent single-digit millisecond latency at any scale. Its flexible data model and reliable performance makes DynamoDB a great fit for any kind of high-performance applications like web, gaming, advertising technology, IoT, and many more. So, in an Amazon DynamoDB table, we have the primary key that uniquely identifies each item in the table can be composed not only of a partition key, but also of a sort key. So partition key PK which is like a combination of the primary key, and the sort key is any DB primary key. In any DB primary key is mandatory. So one is that in DynamoDB, we can have multiple partitions and each partition would have same PK. To uniquely identify records in a partition, we use another key called sort key. So SK is like a composite key, okay? Then we have local secondary index and global secondary index. So GSI is a global index where all the records are indexed based on completely other attributes different than partition key and sort key. GSI can be added to a table even after creation of the table, okay? But that's not the case with the local secondary index. The local secondary index is used to index items within a partition. It cannot be added after creating a table. Okay. We will be seeing all these things while we are doing the hands-on as well. So yes. Provision capacity means reserving some read and write capacity units all the time. So there are two types of provisioning that we do. Okay. One is on-demand provisioning and the other is the provision. We provision based on our customized needs. Okay. So the provision one, it is useful when we for sure know that expected DB usage capacity, and so it will be built even if we use or not. And in on-demand capacity, it is pay-per-use call basis, useful when applications has less load and non-deterministic loads. Okay. Okay. Keerthana has shared the link of the Slido in the chats. So those who have joined recently, if you have any questions, you can add it on that Slido. So whenever we get time, we will be answering those queries during the Q&A section or the break time, or whenever we stop in middle of the explanation of the services. Okay. Keerthana, do stop me if you have anything other than that in the chats. Okay. I will move forward. So coming to the features of DynamoDB. So DynamoDB delivers app with consistent single-digit millisecond performance. It has a very, very fast performance, nearly unlimited throughput and storage, and the automatic multi-region replication. So you don't even have to worry about availability and the replication part. Focus on innovation and optimize cost with a fully managed serverless database that automatically scales up and down according to your needs. Integrate with AWS services to do more with your data. Use built-in tools to perform analytics, extract insights, and monitor traffic trends. So all these are available just by having DynamoDB on AWS. It's also integrated with the IAM for security, authorization, and administration. So you can create IAM rules wherein you can give different permissions in order to access this DB. So it's very secure, and you'll always have the administration put security rules for each and every user that you have. So yes. Going to the next slide, the pricing model. So whenever we use any AWS service, we are always concerned about what will be the cost of it, right? So cost is also a very important aspect over here. So we have mostly all the services in the free tier as well. But let me quickly explain how DynamoDB what is the pricing model for DynamoDB. So DynamoDB charges for reading, writing, and storing data in your DynamoDB tables, along with any optional features you choose to enable. DynamoDB has on-demand capacity mode and provision capacity mode, and these modes have pricing for processing reads and writes on your tables. These are the you have $1.25 per million write operations in the on-demand model, and similarly in the provision capacity we have very less because we are already determining how much it will be used. So you don't have to worry about the pricing much, as with cost-effective storage classes and easy-to-use management features, you can optimize cost, organize data, and configure fine-tuned access controls to meet specific business, organizational, and compliance requirements. So the more you optimize things, the lesser will be the cost. Coming to the most interesting part, the hands-on part. So here we are going to create a table named AWS Workshop Demo Table, and we'll be having it as on demand. We'll be customizing the settings as on demand, and we'll have the partition key named as PK. Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me log into my AWS account. So I'll unshare my screen for a minute. So if you want, yes, folks, please log into your AWS account. Okay, we are going to do the hands-on, and we will really like if you can do it hands-on as well. So it will be very helpful, and you'll understand things better if you do it hands-on along with us.
Yep, you can now log into the AWS account. And one basic thing is like you can see there would be a region tab, right? So whatever region you select, your instance or let's say your table or the Lambda functions you are going to create, everything would be created in that region. So if you select two different regions, your resources may not be able to communicate. So what you can do is for this workshop today, you can set the region as Mumbai, which is AP South 1, so that we won't run into this resources issues.
Okay, I'll show where it is. Okay. Yes. So first of all, let's put on chat if you are able to log into your AWS accounts. So then we'll know that we can get started. Have you logged into your AWS account? Okay, cool. We have many people who have logged in. Okay. So as Keerthana was talking, where is the region part? It's here. Okay. So today in today's workshop, we are going to use Asia Pacific Mumbai region. Okay. So please choose this region because according to this, we will have we will be using the, like it will be used in the code later as well. So if you don't want to modify the code, please use Asia Pacific Mumbai AP South 1. Okay. So now this is the AWS console that we have. From here, you can search all the services. Okay. So here I will type Dynamodb. Okay. So now when we go to the Dynamodb, this is the Dynamodb console. You can see we have the pricing section. You have, if you want to go to the documentation, you have it over here. How it works, you have a video also over here. So it's a very good dashboard. You can go and explore your options over here. For today, we're going to get started and create a new table. Okay. So the table name. So here we have to put the table name. Keerthana, could you please tell us what is the table?
Okay, so today's table would be AWS Workshop Demo Table without any hyphens.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so are we good? Are we on track? And then in the partition key, we'll be adding it as PK. We are, as we talked about, is partition key in the explanation itself, and we'll keep it as a string. We don't want a sort key for now. We want to keep things simple for right now. Then we'll do settings to customize settings. Okay, because we want to use different read-write capacity settings. Okay, so I don't want to use provisioned one. I'll be using on demand. So simplifying billing by paying for actual reads and writes your application performs. Okay, so I want to use an on demand one. Then I don't have to do anything. You have to keep the settings as default settings itself and simply go to create table. So it is creating the table. Are you able to create the table, folks? Okay, in the chats I'm getting yes. Okay. Where to search Dynamodb? Okay. Keerthana has a question. Keerthana, there's a search tab. Can you see on my screen over here? You just have to put the Dynamodb service over here. You just put type Dynamo and you will get the suggestion for Dynamodb. Okay.
Actually, I have tried it, but I am getting some other screen.
Okay. See, it's Dynamo like this. And then you have the DynamoDB service over here. Click on this itself.
Yeah, okay. One second, I will search.
Okay, Kinnari, can you walk through once again through the steps, because some people are having doubts again. Like,
Sure. So what I did is, okay, I have the service tab. Everybody sees this search icon, search box, right? So here you just have to type in Dynamo. Okay. The very first suggestion that I get for Dynamo, put the spelling right, otherwise you won't get a proper suggestion. So when you go over here in DynamoDB, click over here. Okay. Then you must be ending on this dashboard, I guess, because you must be having tables already. So you can see over here, create table in the create resources part. Go to the create table part. Now I am having a dummy created. Okay. Suppose I'll say AWS Kinnari because I don't want to end up with some other name. Okay. So I've put a table name over here. In the partition key, I'll add PK. We explained partition key earlier. We don't need a sort key in this application. We want to customize the settings, okay, because we want to use the on-demand model for the capacity mode. So here, we'll click on demand, because on demand will be very easier for me because we only have to pay for the actual reads and writes that happen by our application. Okay. Then we go down and we keep all the other settings I repeat as default. Okay. And create table. So when you see it is creating a table, you can see here, right? Creating the AWS Kinnari table. It will be available for use shortly. Okay. It will be created in a moment. So is everyone able to create? So see, my table is created successfully. Okay. So did you see we did not provide any table structure or anything? Why was that so? Can someone put in the comments or unmute yourself and answer? We did not provide any structure or anything like columns, what we want, how we want the table and all. Why did not we do so?
Because it's a NoSQL.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so people are listening. I am glad. We have a very good audience today, Keerthana. I'm really happy because of that. Okay, awesome. So is everyone able to create the DynamoDB? Are we good on that part?
okay, so Vishwadharani, were you able to set your location? I can see she has asked few times.
Okay.
Okay, yes. And anyone have any issues with setting up the table?
I think no, we are good. Keerthana, we can go forward. Kiruthigi, maybe during the break time we'll connect with you and you can share your screen and we can do it quickly. Okay.
Yes, Kinnari, it will be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So getting back to the workshop. Okay, awesome. So I hope that everybody is done with the hands-on part. It was a pretty quick creation of the table part. Okay. Now we move to the Lambda. So Lambda is the most important service that we're using in the serverless applications. Okay. We are done with the creation of the database. Now let's create a function in order to deploy our code. Okay. Moving to the next slide. So before starting with the definition of Lambda, if you imagine having servers for your application, you will have to make assumptions for how much CPU will be required, how much RAM will be required. It will keep running continuously, right? You have to keep the server running continuously. Scaling will mean intervention, to add or remove servers. So to not have all this chaos, we can simply use AWS Lambda. So AWS Lambda provides function as a service. It lets you run code without thinking about servers, the most important thing. You pay only for the compute time that you consume. There is no charge when your code is not running. Okay, there is no charge at all when your code is not running. We'll talk about the pricing model in the next slide. With Lambda, you can run code for virtually any type of application or backend service with all zero administration. So when we go to the Lambda console, I'll show you that how we can run for any application, we can run any code on the Lambda. Okay. Ever wondered? So like, put in the comments, like, what do you think? Why do we use Lambda? I just spoke about it. Let's see what we get on chats. I just want to know in your words, why should we use Lambda? Great, great. Yes, we don't have to manage the CPU utilization nor the scaling without server. Yes, correct. We can only focus on business logic. Awesome. That's cool. You all are like very cool audience. Okay, going to the next slide. So let's talk about the features of Lambda. Okay, so the very first thing is Lambda runs code without provisioning or managing infrastructure. Simply write and upload code as a zip file or container image. Okay, you simply have to upload the zip file. That's it, and you are done. Next is it automatically responds to code execution requests at any scale, from dozens of events per day to hundreds of thousands of events per second. And your events can be from anywhere. Okay, it can be from mobile notification, or it can be upload an image to S3 or any other thing. The events can be anything. You can Lambda is really useful for saving cost by paying only for compute time you use by per millisecond instead of provisioning infrastructure upfront for peak capacity, right? Optimize code execution time and performance with right function memory size. Respond to high demand in double-digit milliseconds with provisioned concurrency. It really responds very quickly. It's easy to monitor with CloudWatch as well. So we'll be going through when we are doing the demo, we'll be going through that how we can even see the logs on the CloudWatch. Okay. Then Lambda supports almost all languages. Call it Node, Python, Java, C#, Golang, and also it has a custom runtime API as well. So basically it supports all the languages, almost all. Coming to the most interesting part, everybody is concerned about the pricing part, how it will be priced. So you are charged based on the number of requests for your function, okay, and the duration taken by your code to execute. Duration is calculated from the time your code begins executing until it returns or otherwise terminates, rounded up to the nearest millisecond. Okay, that is all that Lambda charges, only for what you are using, how much time your code is executed, just that much. So it's really very good pricing model. AWS has a very good pricing model for Lambda as well. Okay, and for free, you have like AWS Lambda free tier includes 1 million free requests per month and 4 lakh GB seconds of compute time per month, right? So almost if your application has not much of requires much scalability, then your free tier is also sufficient. And for non-free tier, the user is built based on the architecture and the memory size. Okay, the way whatever architecture you're using, and then like whatever memory size is going, so that is only you will be charged for. Okay, so yes, so we're back on the hands-on part. Okay, so what I want you all to do is, before like going to the service, I'll paste the link over here in the chat. Open that link. Okay, I've pasted the link on chat, so we'll show you a quick thing over there as well. Were you guys able to open the link? So going back to the AWS account, I'll simply type Lambda. You guys click the link. I will be opening it from here. Okay. So all I have to do over here is, instead of functions, I'll be putting a begin tag. Okay. So here we land up upon, okay, before starting.
1 second, Kinnari. The link you have sent is having a US East one. We should have Mumbai itself. Like,
okay. So basically what I'll do is just simply go to the search box, go to AWS, Lambda. Okay. Type Lambda in it. click on the very first link. Okay. After clicking on the very first link, this is the dashboard where we create functions. Okay. Before creating the function, I want to show you something. So when you go to begin, type begin over there and press enter. So are you folks on this page where I am? Okay. Yeah. So here, as you can see, as I told you earlier, right, that we can execute Lambda on any languages, that is .NET, Go, Java, Node, Python, Ruby, and this is the custom runtime environment. Okay. So when you go on Python, let's what you have to do is, this is a sample event that we have over here. When we run this, we get a hello from Lambda. So this is how simple the execution over here is. Now going next to what Lambda responds to. Okay. So right now you can see this is hello from Lambda that we executed, right? So the streaming analytics is showing hello from Lambda again and again over here. So this is what similar to what CloudWatch can show us. Now when I go on mobile notifications, so mobile notifications go to the mobile IoT backends, and then those backends talk to the Lambda function. So you can see, right, when I'm not clicking on the notification, the utilization is going down. Okay. When I click it, you can see the utilization is going up. Okay. Similarly, when I upload some image on the S3, you can see that the utilization is going up. But when I stop it, it automatically goes down. Okay. Same with the streaming and analytics. Okay. Now, next, when you come over here, scaling. Okay. You can see invocation and the cost. Based upon the invocations, the cost will increase, right? So when I'm clicking on the mobile notifications, the invocations are increasing, right? So you can see the invocations are increasing the number, correct? So that is how Lambda works. This is a normal working model you can imagine. So see, now it went above the limit, above the limit, so the cost was increasing, right? So when I go do more requests, the cost will keep increasing according to the usage. Okay. So now finally we go to the create function part. So we have, okay, until now, are you all with me? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, yes, awesome. Everybody is with me. Okay. So when you come to create function, we have different options for creating function as well. One is author from scratch. You have user blueprint. You have container image. You can also like select a container image to deploy your function. You have browse serverless app repository as well. Deploy a sample Lambda application from the AWS server application repository. So whenever you want to just go through the sample, you can click on this option. But today we are going to author from scratch. So the very first function that we're going to create is create short URL. Okay. Type the name as is, because we have in the code also we are using it. So type it, create short URL. Keerthana, you can maybe put it on chat as well. For the runtime, we have different options over here, but we are going to use Node.js 14x. Okay. We keep the architecture as we keep all the default options, and now we go to change default execution role. Okay. So we have different roles over here. We can create a new role with basic Lambda permissions. Okay. Use an existing role, or we can create a new role from AWS policy templates. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a new role. Okay. Let's say the role name is AWS Lambda Rule. Okay. For now, I'm not going to add any permissions. I'm just going to create function. Okay. So it's creating the function. Yes. And here we are with the create short URL function. Okay. Now what I want to do is, okay. So now what I want to do is I will put something. This is, so when you come down in the code section, you are on the create short URL function, right? In the function overview part, go down a little. We have a code section over here. Go to the code section. I will add a log over here so that we can see that whether whatever we are putting is getting created or not. Hello to AWS. Okay. So we are saying hello to AWS over here. So now we will just deploy our changes. Okay. So far, I am hoping that you all are with me. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we want to test it, right? So going to the test, what we will do is we are creating new event to test. You can even edit the saved events. We don't have any saved events for now. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a new test event. Okay. Just say
Kinnari, just slow down a bit. Some people are still creating the Lambda. So
okay. So sure. No worries. Okay, sure. I'll close this then.
yeah, on the other part, so yeah, Kinnari, you had given a spelling mistake in the role, but role name, it's fine. You can have any role name. And why we say the Lambda name should be same is so that, you know, when we revisit, it would make sense to us also. If we just randomly name things, we won't be able to identify. So
Correct.
you can keep it. It is not a mandatory thing. You just would have to remember. So the create.url you have named like this, so that when we upload the code and all, it would be correct. So that's why we were saying you can name this itself so that you also won't get into any confusions.
So in the later workshop, you will have to configure this Lambda with API and everything. So that time you should be remembering, okay, for what function we had given what name, right? That's why we said that if we keep a generic name, it will be really easy for doing the workshop along. Okay. Can we have like yes? If you have come, you are here along with me right now. Like, are you on this page where we can test the code? Okay, I have 4 years, 5 years. We have 50 people. Folks, are you along with me? It's really important to know because then when we proceed for the workshop, it will be difficult to follow. Okay, awesome. We got majority of your answers. Okay. So now that you are on this page, your function is created. Okay. So anything you create, we obviously need to test that, right? So what we are going to do is come down a little on that same page. You have a code section over here. Okay. On the code section, there's an index.js file. Okay. So we will add a log over there in order to know that if our function was executed or not. Okay. So just add console.log and whatever you want to put. So I have added over here hello to AWS. Okay. You can put whatever you want. All right. So after doing that, we deploy the changes over here. Okay. Whatever changes you have made over here, we need to deploy it in order to, it's like saving the code. Okay. Go to the test button. Okay. In the test button, we can configure test event. Okay. So when we want to configure, there are two options. One is create new test event and the other is edit saved test events. Right now, we don't have any saved events. So we'll be creating a new test event. Okay. So we'll put a event name as my test event. Okay. I've added the name as my test event. So here in the key values, whenever you want to send something to your function, we can add values over here. Okay. But right now in my function, we don't need anything. We are just simply doing the hello function. So we don't require any of that. So we are not adding anything over there. Okay. We will simply click on create. Okay. Now our test is created. So when I simply click on test, my function will be executed. So you can see we got a status code of 200 and we got a hello from Lambda as well. And in the function logs, you can see that we have printed hello to AWS, which we had written over here, right? We had added a log over here. So that is what we are getting in the logs as well of the function execution. We can not only monitor this logs from here, we can monitor it from CloudWatch. So now AWS has another service called CloudWatch, wherein we can see the logs of whatever functions we are executing. Okay. So when I go to the monitor section, you have different sections over here, right? Code, test, monitor, configuration, aliases, and versions. So go to the monitor section. Okay. when you go to the monitor section, you will have a view logs in CloudWatch. So I will go to view logs in CloudWatch. Are you all with me until now? Okay, okay, everybody is with me. Okay. View logs in CloudWatch. So I'll click over there. Okay. So when I click on the view logs in CloudWatch, it is getting loaded. So when you go down on the log streams, okay, so I can see that 1016. Okay, this is the latest log that I have. Okay, so I'll click on the log. So here in the CloudWatch, it creates log files based on the timestamps. Okay, so here on the CloudWatch, I got this log. Okay, the function was executed, and here you can see that we got a hello to AWS that we had configured in our function. Were you able to see this? Okay, awesome. Everybody was able to see this. Going back to the function. So now what I want you all to do is, now let's have a short homework, short test session. Okay, we created a short URL. Now I want you folks to create a get long URL function. Okay, are we clear with the name? We want a get long URL function. I'll put it on chat as well. Get long URL. So basically what our application does is, our application creates a short URL. So whenever you click on that short URL, you should get a long URL, correct? So we should have one more Lambda function for creating, for having get long URL, right? So I want you all to volunteer for this and create a get long URL function. And obviously we'll help you at any point if you want, but you have to create it similarly. Just one tweak is, this time you don't have to create one more role. In the role section, you will go and click on the existing role and use the same role. Yes, yes, Karthik, you have to use the same role. So let's begin. You all have 5 minutes to create the get long URL function. Okay, are we good? Yes, same runtime. Yes, same runtime. Everything is same except you have to just not create a new role, use the existing role. That's it. That's the only difference. And of course, the name of the function.
Yeah, since Kinnari was also asking, right? Anyone want to volunteer? They want to show how they are going to create this function.
I'll stop share and now the stage is yours, folks. Anyone. And don't worry, it is not going to be a test sort of thing. We'll always guide you on the same part when you are demoing it. Test event name also can be anything, Karthik. It doesn't have to, because it is tagged along with the function itself. So it doesn't matter if whatever test event you want, you can add it. Okay, Karthik is super active on the chat. Karthik, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so I did create a get your URL as well. So I did add just a small console over here, and I can change something and redeploy it again.
Great, awesome.
See, CloudWatch quickly. When I tried the CloudWatch, okay, let me go again, go back. Over here for the get long URL, I was trying to click on logs in CloudWatch. I got the error.
Yeah, so can you go to the function itself? What is the code? Like, did you add any logs or something?
Yep.
No. Oh, okay.
And I was able to see the result as well.
Okay. Can you go to the configuration? Let me just check. In the permissions. Okay, CloudWatch is having create log group. AWS Lambda Rule. That is also fine.
It allowed for this thing, but it's not adding for put log events. Okay.
It's a root user. I think it shouldn't be a problem right there.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I think the role name, the Lambda name should change here, right? Get long eval.
Yeah, it's not actually taking that up. That's
Oh, okay. Then what we can do is, so we created one with the, we created one automatically for the other one, right? So it had this issue. So what you can probably do is you can create a new role itself. That would be better, I guess.
okay. Yeah.
Ready? So what to create a new role, right? What you have to do is, you don't have to delete. You can go to the service called as IAM.
Which one? Sorry.
IAM.
Okay. I am service. Okay. Fine. Okay.
Yeah, that one itself.
It's loading.
Go to roles tab. Yes, the role that you created. Yes.
This is having that specific Lambda one. So what we can do is, or is there a way to edit that policy? We could be.
Add permissions. Yes.
No. Can you click on that one itself? The AWS basic, select it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's selected.
Okay.
So let's try one thing, like CloudWatch. Yeah, select that one also. Create log and okay, put log events as demo lambda star. Which one was specific to our function?
None of them is specific to our function over here. Keerthana.
Can you just 1 second? Can you select the create log group also just to check? Okay, this is also like general only. It's not specific. Okay. So what you can do is, yeah, let's create a new policy itself or new role itself for the new Lambda. You can click on create role. And yeah, Lambda. No, I think
Lambda should be fine, right?
yeah, Lambda is fine. Next. Can you just expand the first one? No, that is specific itself. Maybe you can search the policy like API gateway. Sorry, not API gateway, CloudWatch. Sorry. Can you?
But Keerthana, if you give the AWS Lambda role itself, so it will have the CloudWatch permission by default, right?
Yeah, but now what I'm thinking is, what if it is having some specific? Okay, maybe I just attach a basic execution rule itself.
Yes, it will have.
Let's allow. Yeah. Should I change anything over here? Role name, I'll add a new name.
But yes. Create role. Awesome. And now go back to that Lambda function.
But using the same role, I think shouldn't be a concern, right?
Yeah, it should not be the case.
I cannot edit things here.
Can you go to configuration, permissions, edit? Yeah, change the role. AWS new Lambda, save. Now let's try hitting and see whether that error is coming. Just test once more and see.
No.
The same error is for me also.
So it's saying for this account or region, I'm in Mumbai again, the same region what we asked for. Should I create a new function? I'm not sure if others also face the same thing. If others, it's fine.
Yeah, everyone is facing the same error, I guess.
There are actually some, as I understand, as I remember, it's like there are few restrictions based on the roles, the region, right? So
But then CloudWatch works here as well. I created the same role, same function in the Mumbai region itself, right? Just go create one more role. Let's see. One more this thing function. I don't think we need to change any region or anything. New function, yes.
Okay, Naseem is saying her error was resolved. Do you want to share how you were able to?
Yes, Keerthana, I'll share my screen. So instead of going to the IAM and creating a new role, I edited the Lambda function itself.
Okay.
So I went here, like earlier, the one which you were showing. So I selected the new one. I went on to view details, then to the configuration. Then in permissions, I was seeing the existing role. So I did an edit over here. And instead of this use an existing, I created a new role. Okay. And then I created that AWS, what do you say? The one which I was using right now, new role, and I saved it. Okay. And after saving, I just did the same thing, like you suggested, test it again. And on testing, I could see the logs.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Yeah. If we have a different role as well, it's not a problem, right, Keerthana?
Yeah. That is not an issue. Only thing we'll see next when we come to deploying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So whoever folks were getting that issue, could you please do that? Add a new role itself instead of choosing the existing one. And Keerthana, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. So is everyone okay with the Lambda? Maybe then we can move on to the next part.
Yes, yes. Can we have a yes on the chat?
No, can you repeat that thing? The one edit in the
Keerthana, maybe you can share your screen and show it.
Okay. Yep. So I think what Naseem did was instead of going to the new one, okay, now I am not having, Kinnari, we were not creating along with you. I will create that one also, get long URL. So maybe I will go through the flow that you also did. Use an existing role. We chose the AWS Lambda role, right?
Yes, yes.
AWS Lambda role. Cool. And we created the function. But what happened was we added a log here. Console.log. This is test. Okay. And we deployed it and we tested it. Well, let's give some random name. My test. Create. But when you tested, you got the result here. When you went to monitor and view logs in CloudWatch, it said the CloudWatch group doesn't exist. Yep. So what happens is, if you see in the configuration, right, since we chose an existing Lambda itself, existing Lambda role itself, at that time we created a role for that Lambda, like which was having all the default permissions. So if you see here, it's saying the resource that is having the right is the create short URL, but it should be the get long URL one, right? This is our different method. So that was the error that we were facing. So either you can go to IAM, edit, add new roles and all, but as explained by Naseem, it was you couldn't just create a new role give a role name, AWS get long URL Lambda Rule, and then just save it.
Keerthana, I have tried different way. Like I have added the existing role, which include all the lambdas
Okay.
instead of create short URL.
Yeah, we could
That works for me.
edit that one also. Like so what that was what I was also trying to see. If you go to the configuration and permissions, right, you can see. So instead of this get long URL, you just have to make it star, so that
Yes.
you attach with any lambda, it would be having this access. But somehow I was not able to figure out in IAM role where we have to edit it. Yeah, maybe I'll look into that also, and maybe after break we can check that also.
I can share, like I have edited that part.
Okay. Yeah, you can share.
Okay. In here, I've gone to AWS Lambda Rule, where I just select this. And previously here, it was create short URL. So the steps are going to add it. Select JSON and replace all the create URL as ARN values with the star. And after that, review policy and save changes. And then again, you will test this that lambda. You will be able to see.
Yep.
Get
So,
long URL.
what is the issue you are facing? Still the same error you added new row?
Still the same error. I followed the same step, what just now Keerthana does, and still I was getting the same error.
Okay.
I think that's fine if we cannot resolve that CloudWatch error, because either way we can see the logs in the execution part itself, right? What we can do is we can, if later after the workshop, if we have time, we can try to resolve that issue. Is that okay, folks? Because otherwise there's a lot of things to do and we'll be pending at that part.
Sure.
So you can go forward with the API gateway part, Keerthana.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I will share my screen. Cool. Now going to back to the slide. So now we have created a table. We have created Lambda. We yet have to deploy the code which would access the Lambda and all. Sorry, the DB and all. But before that, we will also see how to create the APIs. So anyone want to say, like, what is just the API? It's a basic thing, right? Anyone want to explain what is an API?
Maybe it's a way to expose our Lambda function to the end users.
Yeah, so not with respect to this application, yes, this is going to be the way we are going to let users access our Lambda, or get some data out of our DB. We will see the entire flow. Or generally what API is, APIs are the endpoints or services that lets you talk to your backend, even if it is serverful or if it is serverless. APIs are going to help you talk to the backend. Okay, so now what is AWS managed API gateway? There is this service called as API gateway, which would fully manage the API service. You can create, publish, maintain, monitor, and secure APIs at any scales. Okay, what all things the API gateway would support is, like, you can create RESTful APIs. So that would be mostly the APIs that we are all using in our projects, right? Mostly everyone would have seen or used this RESTful APIs. You would have a URL and you would be having some endpoints. On hitting each endpoints, like let's say you would be having /health or /data. On hitting all those endpoints, you would be getting different data. So that is the usual APIs, RESTful APIs. Now, other kind of API is WebSocket API, which is like a socket connection between you and the API gateway. So what WebSocket would do is it would maintain a connection between you and the API gateway. And let's say if your backend needs to send something, right, it would be utilizing this WebSockets or the socket connection. So what advantage WebSocket would give us, like even you needn't, go and ask every time to get the data. Sometimes they can also send back the data. But today in our workshop, we are only going to use this RESTful APIs because that is our use case. We just need to get data when we hit one endpoint. And coming to the next part, which is the integrations. So we just said, right, like API gateway is the way you are going to access or, invoke your Lambda. It's not just Lambda. You can, integrate with Kinesis, which is like a data streaming, real-time data streaming service. Or you can have a event bridge also, which is like an event bus, which can invoke or, create new events. Or it could be any other HTTP services itself, not needed to be any different service. It could be any HTTP service also. And the important thing when it comes to API gateways, one is the integration. So when you create the API gateway, right, you have to integrate it with any of the service, which we will do today. We will integrate it. We are going to integrate with Lambda today. And the other thing is stage. So what a stage is, let's say you need to have, different stages. Let's say you are having a dev stage, then you are having prod. So you can configure all these stages and you can deploy to one stage and then maybe promote and deploy to another stage. All these things you can do. If you don't need any stages, you just need, one set of APIs. Whoever hits it, they should get it. If that is your requirement, you can always go for a default stage also. We'll see what is a default stage when we go to the hands-on sections also. So now coming to the features of API gateway, right? Again, just like every serverless services that we saw, like Lambda, DB, it provides automatic scaling. So you needn't worry about, what if thousands or millions of users hit the API. It is managed by AWS. You needn't worry about the infrastructure. And if you saw the CloudWatch, right? So Lambda, when we create Lambda, we can just provide a role, which would be having this CloudWatch access. But for API gateway, you just need to do some configurations, which would enable this CloudWatch. And what it would help us with is, like, you can see all the performance matrices, like your API calls, what are the latency, whether there is any error. If yes, what is the error? All those things you can monitor through CloudWatch. But unlike Lambda, it wouldn't be like already configured. You would have to configure it. And the next thing is, in case of REST APIs, right? The APIs that we are going to create, we have the option of multiple versions. So your APIs, sorry, some chats.
Oh, it's okay, Keerthana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in case of REST APIs, you would have the option of versioning. Versioning in the sense you can first deploy a set of APIs. After that, let's say you are modifying the API to respond back, some more data and all, or let's say some more responses, different type of responses and all. You can keep all the versions. How it would help you is, let's say right now you are facing any issue, you can roll back to the oldest version and see what was the error or how it used to work. So for debugging purposes and all, you can use the versioning. Okay. So this is just the basics of API gateway. Now what we are going to do today is, sorry, I missed the pricing part, which is like the most important one. When it comes to the REST APIs, if you are on free tier, you would get 1 million API calls for free. And when it comes to the WebSocket APIs, as I said, you are going to maintain a connection, right? So that factor also comes into picture. It's not just messages. So you will have 1 million messages for free. Also, you would have like 750,000 connection minutes for free. Beyond that, it would start charging you. And next thing is, in AWS, you have two options to create a REST API. Like they provide different models. You can create HTTP API and REST APIs. Both are same only. Okay, don't get confused. Both are for creating the RESTful APIs itself. Only difference is like the way it provides some features. Like REST APIs will allow you to cache your responses. It have more, authentication services integrated and all. But HTTP API is way more cheaper. Let's say you are having a short application or small scale application and you need, low latency replies and all, you can go for HTTP APIs. And if you see the cost also, HTTP APIs is having like $1.05 for the 300 million request. After that, it would be charging like 95 cents. And when it comes to REST API, it is more costlier, right? You can see like it's $3.50 for the first 333 million requests. And beyond that, whenever you reach a different milestone, it start reducing. Okay. Any confusions on this part? All clear till now? Okay. So now we will have hands-on. So we have created the lambdas, right? And we have DB also. What you have to do is you have to make a API gateway and create two routes, which would invoke these lambda and get you some result. Okay. So what we are going to do is we would create one API gateway named as AWS Workshop API Gateway. And then you can name your API gateway anything, that is fine. Then we would be creating two routes. So first, in the first step, right, what we can do is we will create an API gateway. We will create a route named shorten, which will be integrated with the create short URL. Okay. After that, we will come back to the next route. So what I will do is, I will go to the API gateway. So just like how we have been doing, just search API gateway and you will see the first thing itself, API gateway, build, deploy and manage APIs. Just click on it and you should be landing on this page. Are you all able to see this on your screen? Okay. Yep. So as I mentioned, right, both HTTP API and REST API are just different models AWS is providing. Both allow you to create REST APIs, if you see REST API. But here, if you see, it is more, more advanced, the REST API. You have many management capabilities and all. But for simple use case, our use case, we are going for HTTP API. Okay. And in case of HTTP API, one of the limitation is that you can only configure Lambda or any HTTP service. But it's okay, right? For our case, we are only having Lambda as a backend. So we can always choose HTTP API. So it's cheaper also. So it's good. The other two things are like WebSocket API, as I mentioned, for two-way connections. And the other one is REST API, which is like a private. We are not getting into networking and all. So we'll leave that part. It's like when you are in a network and that API should only be accessible inside that network and all. If you have much constraints and all, you would be going for such API. But today we are going to use HTTP API. So what you can do is you can just click on build. And if you see, the first step itself is add integration. So what is an integration? The service that you have to invoke, right? So just click on the add integration and select what integration you want. If you see, all other things, private resource, AWS service like the kindnesses, event bridge, all those are disabled because HTTP API doesn't support. Only REST API model would support. But in our case, we are going to select Lambda. Let's select a Lambda function. So first we will be creating for the create short URL. Okay. So select the create short URL. If you need, you can just add integration here again and just select what is the other integration, which is Lambda, and then select the second one also. Or we can come back to it later also. Which way do you want to go? Like do you want to create one and then learn how to add a new route? Or do you want to add everything together itself? You know what, we will learn to add a new integration and new route in the next step. So let's just add one route, okay, and one integration. What we can name is API AWS. Oh, okay. People are wanting together. Cool. If yeah, maybe I'll explain how to also. So for the people who want to do it together, right? Just click on add integration and select the next Lambda function, just like I showed you earlier. Other people don't add integrations, or you can add integration also. We will see how to add route.
Keerthana, what we can do is you do it separately. You do it together because there are many people who want it together. Then we can have one volunteer who will we'll guide to do it, how we can do it differently. Okay, one by one.
Great.
Okay.
So what I can do is I will add the both integration, both routes. But people who want to learn, how to do step by step, just create only for the create short URL. We'll come back to it. Okay. Get long URL. Okay. AWS workshop API gateway. Feel free to name anything for your API. We don't have any dependencies on API name. Okay. Now, if you see, the people who have created two integration will be having two routes. For others, it would be just one. Only one would be there. So what is create short URL? You would give something and you have to get back an ID, right? So since you would be giving some data, it's ideally to have it as a post request. So select the post for the create short URL. And the get long URL, when you hit with an ID, you should just get back the result. You are not going to send any more data and all. So that is basically a get request. So configure the methods like this, and then just click on next. And this was the thing I was saying. So let's say you want to have different stages and all, you can add stages and configure and all. But this is a small scale application. I don't want different stages and all, just a default stage, and it should auto deploy. So whenever I make any changes, it would deploy. If I hit the URL, I would get the latest changes. Okay. We will go to the next point. It's just reviewing all things and creating. Okay. Yeah, and you can see this is going to be the invoke URL. Cool. And I will stop sharing now. So some people was just doing one at a time, right? Maybe one of you can share your screen. I will help you with creating or adding the new route.
Sure, I can do that.
Cool. You can share your screen. We can help you with creating the new route. And
Okay. Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
yes. So once you have created, right? You would be able to see like this. Click on the, you can go inside the API gateway. You can see the invoke URL and all. So in order to add a new route, what you have to do is in the left panel, you can see routes, right? Select the routes and just click on create. It would be a get. Okay, so one mistake I did, yeah, we'll come back to that. When we create a route for the get, right, what our backend expects. So how I have configured is like the API gateway, sorry, in the URL itself, you are going to send the ID. Okay, so that kind of APIs or that kind of parameters are known as path parameters. Okay, so how you would mention a path parameter is you would specify curly braces, and inside that you would add your ID or whatever parameter is there. So for this workshop, you are going to have short ID. Inside the bracket, you can say short capital ID. Yeah, you can click on create.
Shouldn't I add
Lambda name.
long?
No, not needed. For others, I will show that. It was a mistake from my side. I will show that how to edit it.
Okay. So here I'll just click on create.
Yeah. Yeah, now click on the get part. You will see there is no integration attached. So you can click on integration. Can you, yeah, you can create and attach a new integration, which would be the second Lambda function itself. Yeah, integration type would be Lambda function. First one, and choose the Lambda you want. Get long URL. Okay, create. Okay, done. So your both routes are there. Maybe I can now share and help others with the thing. So as I mentioned, like for the get long URL, right, we will not be using such a route. We will be directly passing the ID. So in that case, we should ideally specify it like a path parameter. And how you would specify path parameter is just like we saw in Naina's screen. So people who have created, just click on this get, select this edit option and remove this name, and you can give curly braces, and inside that you can give the parameter. Okay, so this would be the parameter that your Lambda would be able to access. When you go to the Lambda function, Lambda can access this short ID. So this is how you would be specifying path parameters, and just click on save. Okay, so was everyone able to edit this? Everyone can see a create short URL and get short ID. Everyone able to do that? Cool. No, Karthik. So if you see, when I created itself, there was the deploy option, right? We mentioned it auto deploy enabled. So what would happen is whenever you make a change, it would automatically deploy. You needn't, go and deploy it again. Okay. So maybe, we can test it out also. Let's see whether it works. If not, we will come back and see. Just take your invoke URL. Okay. Go to your Postman or any thing that you want. So create a new request, make it a post connection, paste your API gateway URL, attach shorten, and just send. Okay, not found. Try to rewrite. Let me just check what happened. Configure. Yeah, it's create short URL.
That's get URL, no?
Sorry?
That's get URL, no? Get. In the Postman collection, you have.
No, this is post, right? This is post.
Then the path is create short URL.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are correct. Sorry. Create short URL, which was also a mistake. Yeah, you would get this response.
Can you show the body, Keerthana?
No need to send any body because
Okay.
like body is not required. Your Lambda isn't having anything. It's just going to respond back. Yeah. Okay. One thing is the create short URL is not a good way for naming the APIs, right? That is your Lambda name. So in order to make it, follow the RESTful conventions and all, you can edit this one also and give the name as shortened. I didn't notice this one also. Bad. Okay. So if you go here, now if I hit shorten. Okay, now again there is some issue. And in that case, what would I do? Log groups. Go to AWS. Cool. If when you edited and tried, were you able to hit the endpoint?
I am getting internal server error.
Okay, we'll see that then. Command V, ID, send. Okay. There seems to be some problem once we have edited it. Maybe what we can do is, let's say I will say configure again, edit. Okay, this is create short URL. I'm just checking what happened. Get long URL, edit. Save. Yep. So maybe, when we change the route and all, there might have been some permission issues and all. So what you just need to edit and then just save. I guess that's it. Okay. Are you able to access? Naina, so you would be getting same responses, right? So now what our Lambda code is, just this only, right? Both of our Lambdas are having 200 and hello from Lambda. Right? Maybe in my case, it might be different. Okay. Hello from Lambda. Someone was asking something.
Yeah, I was asking where to do that save, like in the integration part.
Yeah, so just click on the get.
Okay.
Configure the integration. Okay. Then edit this. Click on edit. Just remove this name and say get long URL and save.
Okay. Getting it now. Yeah.
Yeah, but as Neena said, there seems to be some issue. Like here it's okay. No. It's hello from Lambda only. I was thinking
The log is hello to AWS, right?
yeah, I was also thinking why it's not sending me AWS hello to AWS.
No.
But the response is
Have it in
same.
the log. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Karthik, I'm not sure what is this hopes coach. Let me see. HTTPS. Maybe I'll copy this. Are you? And unable to reach the API endpoint. Interesting, right? Just an online version. So what might be happening is, right, there would be some CORS issues also, which we thought we would cover when we are going to application deployment and all. So Postman is like for testing purposes, it might give you results, but when you have different applications, right, you need to configure your cores also. So what you can do now itself is you can go to your API gateway, go to this CORS. Okay. Here, if you see no access control, allow origin, allow headers, allow methods, everything are no origins are allowed, no headers are allowed, no methods are allowed. So we need to change that. We can change that and try it out in the thing Karthik have shared also. So allow origin, ideally you should, when you think about security aspects and all, so the application endpoint or the application where you are going to host, you would have a link, right? That should be your origin. But now we are using different things like to test. So what you can mention is like you can mention star for now. Okay, add that. And in the allow methods, you should be able to allow every method, right? Not just one or two. In when it comes to other projects or large scale applications and all, so you can give star here also. And we can configure headers also, because now we are not having any body, but once we deploy and all, we would have a body for this post request, right? At that time when your application is going to send the request, it might say this allow headers is not there, because internally Axios or anything would add some headers also when you are passing a body. So what you have to do is just give content hyphen type, which is only the main header that you are going to require. Let's save it and test whether this is working or not. Then cool, you got the response. So Karthik, were you able to get the response? And others can also configure this course,
Yes,
because
but we will need it in the later part of the workshop. So it's better if we configure it now itself.
yeah, so when we are going to deploy the UI part and all, right, we would need this because anyway, when your UI start hitting the API, it start giving this cause error. So you can also configure now itself. Okay, so everyone have configured this course, or anyone need any more time?
Can we have a yes on chat?
If everyone is on track, we can move on to the next part.
Yes,
Cool.
we can.
Yeah. So now comes to the next part, right? Which is like the backend deployment. So now we have all the services. Our API gateway is connected to our Lambda. But our Lambda is not reading and writing anything to our DB, right? But we need to do that. So that is the part we are going to do. And with this, our backend part should be done. After this, we will take a break and we will come back and just focus on the S3 and CloudFront. Okay. So for the backend deployment, what you can do is, I hope you all would have cloned the repository that we shared. You can open just the backend repository. Okay. So there will be URL shortener backend. Open in any ID of your choice. So I have now opened. What I will just give you a walkthrough of this code also, like not in depth. I will just say what is there. So till now, what we have been doing, we went to DB, we created a DB, then we created two functions. We went to API gateway, we configured, or we like we added one connection to this create short URL also. So now if you see in your function itself, you can see an API gateway. Okay, it's showing two API gateway because first we created with a wrong name and then we edited back. You can probably delete this also, it wouldn't cause any issue. The one that is there, right? Keep that one. Don't delete that one, the shortened one. Okay. So we have configured API gateway to invoke your Lambda. So that is done. Now what we have to do, our Lambda should read and write to DB. But for that, we cannot add destination and all. We cannot do from console itself. For writing to DB, what we can go is we can, always use a CLI to read and write to DB. But we have a Lambda itself, right? So what AWS provides is you have an SDK, AWS SDK, which provides almost, all of the services. You can create an instance of all of your services and use all the functions. So if you see the code, the create or URL, I have imported the AWS SDK. Then I am just creating an instance. And the first thing is I am creating a put request and putting it to the DB. If something goes wrong, it would return you an internal server error, or else it would return you the short ID that we are going to create. Okay. And get long URL, it's just some reverse. Like if you see, there is the event.path parameter. So I mentioned, right? So to get path parameter, you had already mentioned the parameter in braces, curly braces. That would be the ID you would be mentioning here also. So you would be having the ID, you would just query your table. That's it. Okay. And if you know that item is not there, that means you have given a wrong ID, you will get a not found response, or else you would get a successful response with the long URL that you are going to send. Okay. So this is the walkthrough, or this is the code that we have. And one other thing, if you remember, some people were asking what is the dependency with the table name, whether the table name should be the same. So if you see here, we have to specify what is the table that we are going to query. Okay. Here also, if you see, there is this table name. So in case you have named your table anything different, you have to edit this and make that. You have to give your table name. If you have given the same name that we mentioned, it should be fine. Okay.
Also specify the region as well, Keerthana.
Yeah, so the region, when you create the instance, you have to specify region. That was one of the reasons why we said, we can go ahead with AP South 1, Mumbai. If you don't have it, or if you change the location also, you would have to change this region also. Cool. So now everything that we are going to do in this ID is mostly, code specific. So since this is node, right, what you have to do is you would have to like Babel in the sense, usually when we write the code and all, it would be in the latest version, which is called as ES6, but most of the browsers support only ES5. So Lambda only asks you to upload a ES5 version. And so for that, what we have done is we have created two shell scripts, one for the Mac and Linux users, which is this package lambdas.sh. And for the Windows users, there is this package lambdas win. So you can just run it. For Windows user, there is just one more step, which I will specify what is it. Okay. So what now you can do is all the Mac users and Linux users just run this package lambdas.sh. Just run sh package lambdas.sh. Windows user just enter package lambdas win.bat and just click enter. Okay. So it's zipping many things. We will just wait for it to continue, complete. Okay. So I have got success. What about everyone else? And the Windows users have one more like task to do. If you see we are zipping many things here, right? But there was not a specific command for Windows. Sorry, Aishu, what command you are asking about running the shell script?
Yes, yes, yes.
Just run sh and package lambdas.sh. Yeah, so the package lambdas, right? Anamika. So as I said, one thing is we write code in the latest version, which is ES6, but all lambdas, browsers and all expect you to provide in ES5. So what we are doing is we will iterate through every lambdas that we have created. And what we will do is we will copy the content to some folder. That is all unnecessary. I will show you what is in the content. Basically, what we would do is we would iterate through every lambda. We would create it to ES5 version. And one more additional step what we are doing is this minified. So let's say your lambdas are very big and all, right? Your size, file size would also increase. So when you Babel it, like when you convert it from ES6 to ES5, if you give a minified, it would remove the excess space and all. So that is one other thing that we are doing. Now once the build is done, right, I will show you. So there is two folders inside. One is a Node.js folder and one is Babel Src. So in the Node.js folder, if you see, there is this package.json, which is where all your dependencies would be. And once you have the dependency, we also, install those dependencies. That is the node modules that you can see here. Okay. So this lambda layer.zip is like the zipped version of this folder, Node.js. If any Windows users are there, you would not see a lambda layer.zip. What you have to do is you would have to compress this Node.js folder. Okay, so is everyone with me on the Node.js folder? It's basically all the dependencies that you need for your Lambda. Okay. So Windows users, I am not sure whether there are any Windows users. If there are, please make sure you zip this folder, Node.js. Okay. Now coming to the Babel source or Babel Src, you would see two things: create short URL, get long URL, which are basically our lambdas, right? Create short URL, get long URL, and you can see there is an index.js where our Babel code is there. The code we have converted to the previous version and minified one that would be there. And then if you have some environment variable and all, you can specify it in env, but we don't have anything as of now. Again, so for Windows users, again, there is this problem, like we were not able to zip. What you would have to do is you have to zip this folder and this folder.
Do we have any Windows user? Can we raise hands if you are a Windows user?
I'm not able to see anything.
Yeah, I think everybody's on Mac or Keerthana, so need not worry.
Okay. So if you are on Mac, then it's fine. You would be having all these zip files, and you would be having a Lambda layer also. Now we will go back to the deployment part. Okay. So we need to deploy the code, right? When we deploy the code, what you have to do is for Lambda, you would also have to give the dependencies. Like when you always write a functions and all, there would be multiple dependencies, right? Let's say even if it is any language, you would be having multiple dependencies. So Lambda wouldn't have all those dependencies on its own. So when you deploy a Lambda, with some dependencies, you would have to attach those dependencies also. So when you upload, you would have to give that dependencies also along with the code. But let's say you are having, many lambdas, and most of them would be having same dependencies also, right? It wouldn't make sense for us to go and, deploy all the dependencies to every lambda, right? It would be very hard also, right, for the users who are deploying also. You get what I'm saying? Like, you would have to deploy all the dependencies to every lambda. Is that, that doesn't sound very, interesting also, right? Okay. Yeah, it's a redundant work. Yes. So what Lambda provides you, right, is that you can create a layer. So if you go to the left side panel, you would have a hamburger symbol. You would see this layers. Okay. So just click on the layer. So what Lambda provides is you can create a layer. In that layer, you can store all your dependencies. And when you are deploying a Lambda, right, you just attach this layer. So you needn't deploy any dependencies or anything when you are deploying code. You can just attach this layer. All the dependencies would be there. So cool, right? We don't have to do much work. Yeah, right. It takes space also. Thanks for that point. It would take much space also, and it's redundant work. So what we are going to do is we are going to add all the dependencies. Like if you see in this code, there was a AWS dependency. Here there was a UUID dependencies. I had we had created a folder called Lambda layer, which contains all of your dependencies. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a layer. So just click on the create layer, create the Lambda layer name, give any name you want. I'm going to give like node modules, which is the dependencies in node modules Lambda layer. I'm not sure. Okay, again, I am having typo. Lambda layer. Just give any layer name you want. You needn't, follow the same naming conventions for Lambda layer. Just give any name and you choose upload a zip file, select upload. Now what you can go do is you can go to documents, go to the backend code, backend repo. You would see the build folder, and inside that choose the lambda layer.zip. So basically it contains all the node modules that your Lambda would need. Okay. So that is something you would have to take care when you are working on a project also. So make sure, you also set up something like this so that your work is also reduced. Once you have uploaded, select the runtimes. So I am going to select Node.js 14 because that is one we are using. Maybe, it could be used for 12 also. So if it supports, multiple versions also, like multiple versions of Node.js itself, you can specify that one also. Now I am just going to add 14 and click on create. It's getting created. Okay, successfully created node modules Lambda layer version 1. So what is this version 1? It's the first version. You just created the layer, right? Let's say you are going to add a new dependencies or anything. Upload button is not working for me. Okay, let me see.
So when I'm clicking, basically the pop-up is not coming up.
Did you select upload.zip file?
I am not getting that pop-up so that I can select anything.
No. So let's say you create a layer. There is this upload.zip file.
Yeah, that was selected by default. And once I'm clicking it, this is not coming up.
Okay.
There must be some permission issues with your browser itself to allow pop-ups or not. Could you please check that?
There is no permission issues. Trying again. Let's see. Yeah, because if there's permission issue, it will it will show on the top of the browser with a
Yes, yes.
mark, but I'm not getting that.
If you're using a dual monitor, it must be somewhere in the other screen also. That may be also possible.
No, it's just Mac. I think same for a few other people also.
That's strange. I mean,
Okay.
can you refresh the browser and do it once again?
Yeah. Mhm. It's just a AWS, like maybe some issue with your browser or anything. It worked.
Yeah, there must be some system issues itself because I don't think AWS has to do anything with this.
Not, yeah, just browser issues or,
Yes.
some loading issues.
Did it work?
Not for me.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Others, are you able to make the layer?
I tried the same link with Safari, then the upload pop-up is coming. The
Okay, okay. Maybe you can switch the browser, Ankita.
yeah,
Sure, I'll try that. Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, can you please repeat? What did you try?
I copied the URL and pasted it in the Safari. Means I thought it's a browser issue, so I opened it in Safari.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just try different browsers and see whether the upload is working.
So in the meantime, Sachin has a question that if all the things that we're doing right now, is it in the free tier or will it be charged? So folks, as we explained in each and every services pricing model, right? I mean, I thought many of you must be having this question, so I thought that let's talk about it right now. So whatever services we explained, right? Every time we had a pricing model over there. So it had like for DynamoDB, we have read write this thing capacity, right? Then we for Lambda, whatever number of times you execute the function and how much time does it take to execute? It depends on that, right? But then what if you just like if you're executing this application for just the time we are doing in the workshop and you're not crossing those limits that we showed over there, right? There was a bar that okay, after 50 dB you will be charged, right? So all those things, no, after if you're not crossing that limit, all of this that you're doing is free tier. Okay, if you are not using this application after this workshop, you will be charged nothing. If you cross those request limits and read write capacities, then only you will be charged some amount that we had showed in the pricing model itself. So overall, it's a free tier only if you're just running it for the time you're working on the workshop. But if you increase the request limits and everything, then it will charge you based upon the pricing models of each and every services. Okay, then if you can add anything if I missed.
Yeah, nothing from my side to add to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Were you able to resolve your issue? Like, were you able to upload it? Ankita, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to log in Safari. Just a minute.
Okay.
Hey, Keerthana, we can move forward until then because
Okay.
we have only an hour left and we have to deploy the front end as well.
Yeah. So now what you can do is you can just move to the functions and select any of the functions you need. Okay. So now to upload the code part, right? Either what you can do is you can always, copy paste the code here. But when we, try working, we would be, not copy pasting things. We are developers, we won't be copy pasting or So what you have to do is you can upload, zip files and all. Okay. Two ways you can deploy your code. You can either upload through a zip file or you can upload via an Amazon S3 location. Again, in Amazon S3 also you would have to upload it. So what we are going to do is we will directly, upload the zip file. Okay. Yeah, Ankita, for your query, I think, yeah, just upload the zip file. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Now what you have to do in the Lambda, you just clicked on the upload from, select the upload. So this was the create short URL one, right? Click the create short URL js.zip. Okay, open it and save. Okay, so your code, you can see your code is there. Okay, the single line code that we saw inside this one also. Yep, that is there. So when you upload Lambda, you can either copy paste all the contents, which again would be, very boring work. So you can just zip your files and upload. So that is what we just did. Okay. Now once you have done this, you can see our layer is not attached. So by default, no layer would be attached. So what you have to do is click on add a layer. Okay. If you see, there are options like, you can choose from a list of layers provided by AWS, but we have a custom layer, right? We have created on our own. So select the custom layer, choose the layer name. So you would be able to see your layer name there itself. Choose it and choose the version. So right now we have only one version, like we only uploaded once. If you have more dependencies and you upload again to the same layer, it would create a new version. In that case, you can select the latest version. So for now, you can select the latest version, which is the first version, and add it. Yeah, so Vishwadharani, you can always, copy paste also, or as like KJ said, you would have to go to S3, then upload the zip there, and then upload from that Amazon S3 location. So instead of going that route, we just uploaded the zip file from here. Okay. Yeah, and we have attached the Lambda layer also.
Sorry, like because I missed little bit part. So when I'm trying to upload from here, the button which is present on the right side, and I am trying to upload create short url.js.zip, it is saying that it's an empty file. An empty file you cannot upload. Must be a non-empty zip. Yeah.
Okay, can you all check, whether your create short URL inside that all these things are there or not?
It is only env got created for me.
Okay, so you are somehow, in between that copying index file is not working. Babel also would not have worked.
Can you check if you have any errors in the execution part?
Here in the logs that we had, is there any error?
It's saying success everywhere. Yeah.
So this is just echo. Don't look at the echo command. Inside this, the copy or Babel, anywhere, are you having any error?
Looking, no errors.
Okay. See, Nana has the error, npm error. So could you please check once if you have the same error or any other errors? Because since the zip is empty, there has to be some error.
Your code one.
Says my HP. Okay, I'm not sure though. I had.
Okay, would you like to share?
I don't have any error. You are asking me to share?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ankita.
sure. Just a minute. Yeah, so this is the place where I run the file and I'm not able to see any error here. Yeah. Here, if you see just env.
Okay, so in the like you all had done the npm install first? Like we had mentioned it in prerequisite, like open it and then.
No, I think I haven't done it.
Yeah, maybe we can check that one also, whether an issue with that, or else we have a backup also, like we can provide you the code also. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so should I run the script again after npm install?
Yeah, just run the shell script again, like sh.
Okay, and okay, yeah.
Yeah, it would delete any. Now refresh it.
Okay.
Yeah, Node.js is coming.
Zipping, I think still.
Yeah, it's still working, yes.
Okay, now it's
Now
done.
could you check?
Maybe you would have to load again from the
Right click and reload from disk. Yes, fourth last option.
Reload from
yes.
disk, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
You have it.
Okay, fine. So just for this, so basically I have to just upload it for both the things because I missed it in middle.
Yeah, and you have to just attach the layer.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Are people still facing issue with this?
Can we have a yes on chat if you're done, if you're along with Keerthana until now? Okay, we are having yes, done, yes. Yes, Keerthana, I think we can move forward. Okay.
You repeat, add layer. Yeah,
What
sure.
we can do is let Ankita itself share. She is doing that the same part, right? So we in the same time we can help others as well, right?
So I have already done it for a short one. So I just added it for the long.
Okay.
And once I clicked on save. Yeah. And then I have to attach layer. So where I need
left
to
side layers. Left side layers.
Okay.
You have it here.
I have already created the layer. How to attach the layer with the Lambda?
No. Go to the Lambda function itself. Select the Lambda function.
Okay.
Select any of the function. Create your URL or no, select it. Go inside.
Go inside.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Yeah. Add a layer.
Yes, add a layer. Custom layer. You have to choose your custom layer. Okay. So what would have happened is you wouldn't have mentioned the runtime. So it's not coming here. Can you do one thing? Can you go to the layers?
Yeah.
Copy this ARN, like this version ARN. You can copy this.
Okay.
Okay. Now you can go back to the Lambda and attach this ARN. So that is also one of the use case of why we add, go to specify an ARN. We can specify the ARN and verify, add. So people, if you forgot to mention any runtime, just do it like this. Get the ARN of your Lambda layer, go to your function and select the specify an ARN option and then just click.
Runtime means like what I have to select here in case like if I'm creating a new layer.
So the compatible runtimes are there. No, not that one. That is architecture. So let's say you are having Python and all. So in the next option, you can see, right, compatible runtimes.
Okay.
Here you can specify, what all, runtimes could access these dependencies, would work along with these dependencies.
Okay.
So in that case, it would come in your Lambda function itself when you are adding a layer. Otherwise, Lambda is also confused. We have a layer, but I'm not sure whether, this is compatible with this runtime or not.
Okay. Sure. Got it.
Is there any limitation for the, like dependence the layer that we are adding, right? Is there any size limitation?
Size limitation, I think you would be able to see any size limitation when you are uploading itself, right? But you always have the way to upload through S3 also. So let's say even when you are trying to upload the dependency zip, right? If it is throwing like, this file is of very big size, what you can do is you can upload in S3, which would support like, TBs of size. So you can upload in S3 and specify the S3 location.
Okay, and that is for the dependency, and just like for Lambda function also, like we have uploaded the code via zip, right?
Yeah.
For the
Same
code,
here.
yeah. For the code, do we have any like size dependent size constraints, or it is fine to like upload any zip?
No, so just like I said, so when you are uploading the zip, right, it would be showing like, upload if your file is like, less than 10 MB. If it is going greater than 10 MB, it is always a recommended way, go and upload in S3, which would be, more reliable. You can go upload in S3 and then, just specify that S3 location when you are in Lambda function.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Fine,
Okay.
thank you.
And we just added one Lambda layer, right? So what we can do is we can add up to 5 Lambda layers for one function itself. And the constraint that we have is like, along with the Lambda function and Lambda layer, the function size should not exceed back 250 MB. That is there. Okay. So do we need to add a new layer? Sorry, Naina, what I'm not sure what is this, what layer are you talking about?
So after I've added the zips, uploaded the zips, should I be creating a new layer for?
No, you can just use the existing layer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the node module itself, I'll have to do what?
So 1 second. So what you have to do is you have to go to the create.url, just add a layer, select the add a layer, specify an ARN, select or paste your ARN and verify. Or if you had mentioned a runtime, just choose it and you would be able to see your layer. Just click on it, add your layer and select add. That would attach the layer to your Lambda function. It will not create a new layer and all. Okay.
Okay.
So similarly, you have to do for the get long URL also. Just scroll down, add a layer, custom layers, or specify an ARN if you haven't mentioned any compatible runtimes. Node modules Lambda layer, version is latest. Just select add.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Keerthana, Karthik is facing some issues. He has node version 17, but I don't think the node version matters, right?
I think the node version would also have some issues. Do you have NVM and all? If it would be good if you can switch to 14.
Okay, I can try with 14 also.
Or for now, for you to tag along with the workshop, what you can do is yeah, I will share a drive in which the backend codes and Lambda layer is there. So you can download from here and upload there. But yeah, I think there is the dependencies also for in Babel. That's why the Babel thing is not working maybe. Only that is not working. Like we were able to copy the packages and create node modules. That node.js folder was all getting created correctly. So the problem might be with this Babel only. Okay. So now we have deployed our code also. Now we have to test it. So what you can do is find
You're not sharing screen.
yeah, just find some very long URLs, so that we can test whether we are getting back short URLs or not. Now we have deployed our code. What you have to do is go to your Postman. You can see we had created a post shorten, or just go here, go to your body. Okay, create a row request with in the option select JSON, and then here what you have to give is URL to shorten, and as a value give the URL that you want to shorten. Okay, so just open your Postman or anything, this one, go to the body, select content type would be application JSON. If you are using this one, select application JSON. Okay, open curly braces, then type in URL capital T2 capital S shorten, then you have to give a value, command V, the long URL I have pasted here. And after that, all you have to do is shorten. Just click on send. Oh, interesting. Again, internal server error. So everyone is facing this error? Like, are you all getting internal server error? Okay. Now again, coming back to the roles. So what I did was I went to the CloudWatch logs, and if you see here, I am getting an access denied exception. Okay. So it's saying, this user is not authorized to perform this put item. So if you remember, when we created the Lambda and attached the role, we only give the access to logs, right? The CloudWatch logs. But we had to add DB also. So let's say you are going to access any service within this code. What you would have to do is you have to add that permission also in the role that you have created. So what you can do is go to the IAM, select the roles, and what were the roles that you created? You would have two roles, right? One was this, yeah, AWS Lambda role. So go there. Okay, what are the permissions? Add permissions, attach policies. Select, search for Dynamodb. You will see, all these accesses. If your, Lambda is specific, like you would only read, you would only write, you can just, filter out and give, specific things, specific permissions like this DB read only access or execution role. But what I am going to give is I am going to give a full access so that it can access, it can read and write. The Lambda can read and write anytime. So just do that and attach policies. Okay. So this was one of the role. What was the name for other role? I forgot. 41. AWS get long. You would have created two roles now, right? But if you had only, if you edited the first role and all, what we had to do was we just had to edit the only the one role. But now what we have to do is you have to go to both of the roles, search for Dynamodb, select the full access, attach policies. Okay. Now let's see whether that is working. Yep, I got back an ID. What about all of you? Maybe I'll find some other one. Yep. Got it. which URL? Oh, Karthik, you can paste any URL. No worries. You are asking about this URL, right? The one I have pasted. Yeah, you can paste any URL you want. So I'll paste, a new URL here just to see whether I am getting a response here also. Command V, send. Yep, I got an ID. Cool. So that is the short ID that you have created for your long URL. Now we can test the get call also, right? So just go to your get call. First copy this ID, just the ID, copy it. Okay. Go to the get origin URL. Paste your, paste whatever code you have, like paste your API gateway. Yep. And then give a slash and paste this ID and hit send. Oh, it's still sending me hello from Lambda. I didn't, okay. In between, I forgot to deploy the code. I hope you all would have deployed the code. Okay, save. Yeah, I was busy all with the Lambda layers, everything. I only forgot to upload the code. Now let's try sending. Yep, I am getting back the response as the original URL which you sent earlier. Okay, so maybe
do we need to pass any headers also? Like I'm getting 500 for that get thing.
For get, okay. Yes. Just go to get, paste the ID here. No need for codes and all, just paste the ID.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. Command V, send. Yeah, you would get back this like this. Or you can share your screen. If others have got this thing already, right? You can always break for now. People who are facing any issues can stay back. We will take like a 10-minute break. Okay.
So like when I was doing this create long URL shorten thing, that time I got it, this ID. I am using this ID to hit the get endpoint, but I'm getting 500.
Okay. The URL is correct, right? Because it doesn't seem like it is coming from the.
I'll just change it again and remove shorten from there. That's it, right? 500.
Okay. This is coming from the API gateway itself. We are not even reaching there.
Can you check the CloudWatch logs?
No, but so for API gateway, right, we had to configure that which we didn't. So you might not be able to see. You can try anyway.
So this is the API gateway.
Go to routes.
Routes.
Post, that is one. Get. Okay, maybe edit or configure the integration, which is get long URL only. Not sure what is happening. Maybe you can go to CloudWatch. I don't think it would be there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Go to logs, log groups. Only get long URL is not even invoked yet. Maybe what we can do. Okay.
Ankita and I were facing this issue, right? Initially, that we were unable to configure this long URL part.
Oh,
Initial.
okay. Yeah. Maybe go back to you first created the URL like me, like get long URL.
Yes.
So that was the error. Yeah, you can go back to API gateway itself. Thanks, Naina, for reminding me. I also forgot that. API gateway. Yeah, select API gateway. Select the route. Again, click on configure in the route. Yeah, Gayatri, it is recorded. Select edit.
I did that time.
Close this. Close this Lambda, like remove this.
Remove this one.
Then select get long URL again and save.
Okay. Now should I try?
Yeah, Karthik, please try like this itself once again.
Yeah, now I'm getting it.
Cool.
Okay.
I have Karthik, did you try the same thing?
No, I missed it out. Sorry.
So what happened was the first time we had a naming issue, right? So yeah, go.
I added the role for the
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Go to the API gateway.
Okay.
Go to routes, select your short ID. Again, configure, click on configure, edit. So for some reason, click on the close button with the Lambda function. That is there. Select the get long URL again and save it. So for some reason, when we are renaming the route, it is having some issue. Yeah, now you are getting back. Response. Cool. Is anyone?
Keerthana, I have another issue. I was unable to see long URLs in CloudWatch. I was getting that log group does not exist error.
You are getting.
Yes, I am getting that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you can share. Maybe it's that IAM issue again, like permission issues.
Okay.
Or let me also check whether I am getting that. Yeah. Okay. So can you go to the Lambda function, get long URL? Yeah, go to the configuration. Sorry, configuration only, permissions. This is for get long URL, right? So here you can see again that issue is there. It's create short URL. So what you can do is click on the role, AWS Lambda role above the role name, execution role, or you can go to IAM management also. Anything is fine.
Yeah, I'll do it from here.
Yeah, click on that. It would also take you to IAM only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just expand it. AWS Lambda execution role. Now edit it. Give a star there instead of that create short URL. JSON, can you go to JSON? Now change it to star. Maybe we can try with that also, or you can just give star also. Anything should be fine. Instead of whole thing, you can give star also. Just instead of ARN itself, you can try. Now try hitting the thing and see. Let's see. So first hit any endpoint. Yeah, send that itself and let's see whether it's coming or not. refresh.
Mhm.
So, what is easier, like in the resource, just give star. No need to specify AR and just give star. IAM. In that role, for that role, Lambda role expanded, and instead of resource, just give star. JSON.
Instead of resource as in
Just
which
star.
part? You mean this part?
No, whole thing.
Oh, instead of the whole thing, I'll give star.
Yeah, just star. So it's saying, any resource, having this permission can attach, sorry. Yeah, any role having this permission can write to CloudWatch. Now we can see. Hit the U, now it's there. So, Pujita, did you create two roles? In that case, you might have to add the role for both.
I have added for both Keerthana, but I'm still not getting. I'm getting the same log that access denied exception to the DynamoDB.
Okay, did you add DynamoDB access to both the roles?
Yeah, actually, I have added to both the roles. Yeah, I can share my screen.
Hey, Pujitha, can we do it once we complete the deployment of the front end? Because otherwise we will be in short of time.
Yeah, sure.
Start with you and we can do that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So should we continue, Keerthana?
Yeah, I guess we can start again.
Okay. So, folks, we are starting with the front end deployment. I'll quickly share my screen. Is the screen through, Keerthana?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, coming to Amazon S3. So, Amazon S3 is one of the main building blocks of AWS. It's also advertised, as the infinitely scaling storage. Many websites use S3 as a backbone. We are also going to do the same for today for deploying our front end. You can configure an Amazon S3 bucket to function like a website, and many AWS services uses Amazon S3 as an integration as well. Okay. So today we are going to use S3 for hosting our static website. Okay. So coming to 1 minute. Can someone tell me what does S3 stand for on the chats? We are having less buzz on the chat, people. What does S3 stand for? Quickly, we have very less time.
Storage service.
Yes, simple storage service, exactly. So that is why the name is S3, okay? So, okay, now people are active, so I know that, yeah, we have audience, okay? So now coming to what is S3, okay? Amazon Simple Storage Service. Amazon S3 is an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance, of course. Customers of all sizes and industries can use Amazon S3 to store and protect any amount of data for a range of use cases, such as, data lakes, websites, mobile applications, backup and restore, archives, enterprise applications, IoT devices, and whatnot. Right? Amazon S3 provides management features so with that you can optimize, organize, and configure access to your data to meet your specific business organization and compliance requirements. We have we saw, right? IAM rules are applicable to each and every services. So all the services they can have a role based access to. You can get started with Amazon S3 by working with buckets and objects. Okay. So on S3 we have buckets and objects concept. A bucket is a container for objects. An object is a file and any metadata that describes that file. Okay. To store an object in Amazon S3, you create a bucket and then upload the object to the bucket. We'll be seeing that in the hands-on part as well. When the object is in the bucket, you can open it, download it, and do whatever you want to do. Okay, you can do any operations on the object whenever the object is in the bucket. when you no longer need the object or the bucket, you can clean up your resources. As simple as that. You can simply remove the bucket and you are good to go. Then, how to manage those things? What does S3 manage? S3 manages any type of data with the help of buckets. Your bucket name needs to be globally unique. Folks, you have to remember this. Your bucket name needs to be globally unique. Okay. Data inside the buckets are called the objects and is identified using the object key. We'll be showing that in the demo as well. S3 doesn't support folder structure, but still it gives you a console wherein you get a folder structure experience. Okay. We'll show that while we are uploading our front-end code on the folders in the S3. Okay. Coming to the features of S3. S3 scales, it scales storage resources to meet fluctuating needs with 99.99% of data durability. It stores data across Amazon S3 storage classes to reduce cost without upfront investment or hardware refresh cycles. It protects your data with unmatched security, compliance, and audit capabilities. Easily manages data at any scale with robust access controls. It has flexible replication tools, and it has a visibility organizational wide. Okay. For making your S3 secure, there are two ways. One is user-based and the other is resource-based. In the user-based, we'll be creating IAM roles and policies for the access to the S3. And in the resource-based, we will be creating bucket policies to make our S3 secure. Okay. Coming to the pricing part. So S3 has different pricing models. It has various types of pricing models. Okay. First is S3 standard, which is a general purpose storage, it's a general purpose pricing model. It is used for general purpose storage for any type of data, typically used for frequently accessed data. Okay. S3 standard pricing model is used for data which is frequently accessed. Okay. Then second type we have is, in the standard type, you can see is if your data is up to first 50 TBs, the charge is $0.025 per month. Okay. If the data increases to 450 TB, then the charges per month will be $0.024 per month. Okay.
Docker images, are you storing in your own company?
Sorry. Hello. Did I miss the question? Keerthana, were you able to hear it?
No, I think it was just someone forgot to mute.
Okay.
You can continue.
Okay, awesome. Then the next pricing model type is S3 intelligent tiering. Okay, so S3 has a tiering model as well. So it is for automatic cost saving for data with unknown or changing access patterns. Okay. Then we have S3 infrequent access. So for whatever data, it's long-lived data, but infrequently accessed, then the S3 infrequent access type will be used. We also have a S3 glacier instant retrieval. So this type of pricing model will be used when you have long-lived archived data and you access it once a quarter with, it has an instant retrieval time as well, that is in milliseconds. Then you can use the glacier instant retrieval model. Okay. And finally, going to the hands-on part. So in the hands-on part, we'll be covering how we're going to host a static website by using Amazon S3. Okay. Though I'll just walk through the steps as well. So what we're going to do over here is first we'll create a bucket. We'll enable static website hosting. Then we'll edit the accesses and we will try to access the URL that is created. That is the website URL that will be created by the S3. And let's see if we are able to access it. If we are not able to access it, we'll come back again and check the permissions. Okay. So let me go for the hands-on part. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. So whenever you have to go to the service, you go to the search box, type S3 and go to the first link available. Okay. Are you guys doing along with me? Are you folks able to do it along with me? Go to S3 and then when you go to S3, this is the dashboard that will be open. Okay. You can see that while having S3, it's written global over here. S3 is globally, you have to have the bucket unique. Okay. whatever region we put, it is not region based basically. Okay. Now let's go to create bucket part. Okay. As my bucket name has to be unique, I will put it as AWS. It all has to be in lowercase. Let's put it in lowercase. AWS Serverless Workshop. Okay, I've added my bucket name. I won't be doing any other changes. I'll keep all the default changes, settings. You can see we have block all public access over here right now. We'll keep it as is, and we'll be creating a bucket. Okay. Yes. So we have created a bucket over here. Right now our bucket is empty. Okay. So before filling the bucket, let me share the code. We will be building the code. 1 minute, I'll share. So is my IntelliJ visible to everyone? Okay. So you have to go to the URL shortener UI code. Okay. Go over there, open the .env file. Open the .env file and go back to the Amazon console. There, go to the API gateway. Okay. When you type in the search box API gateway, click on the API gateway.
One question, Kinnari. So when I'm trying to give any name to my bucket and I try to click on create bucket, I am getting that bucket with same name already exists. Any name, it's
You can put any random integers as well in front of it. Try doing that. Random integers, add some random integers.
Yeah, Ankita. So Kinnari already mentioned it, right? So your bucket name should be globally unique. So someone might have named that already. So what you can do is you can append your name or some random ID, like Kinnari said.
Okay, it should be globally unique, like across the entire.
Yeah, globally unique. So if any user have already used their bucket name, you won't be able to use it.
Okay.
Okay. So like, for example, I created AWS Serverless Workshop over here, right? So now with this name, no one else will be able to create a bucket.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Go to the API gateway. Okay. Click on the API that we created. Okay. So we created AWS Workshop API gateway. Go over there. We'll have an invoke URL. Okay. So this is the URL which we need to put in the code. Okay. Copy the URL. Go to IntelliJ in the .env file. In your case, you must be having double quotes over here, okay? Like this. Remove those double quotes, paste the URL over here, okay? Paste the API gateway URL over here. Are you all with me until now? Did you paste the URL? Yes, cool. So now what you have to do is, after pasting the URL, we have to do a npm run build. So basically what we're doing is we are building our front-end code. So do a npm run build. I think someone is on unmute. Anamika, could you please mute yourself? Okay, I have muted her. No worries. Were you all able to do the npm run build?
Can you please again show how did you get this URL in the AWS portal?
Sure. So go to the API gateway. Okay. When you go to the API gateway, go to the API that you created. Okay. There you have an invoke URL. Copy that URL. Go to the .env file in the URL shortener UI code. Remove the quotes from here and paste the URL over here. Okay.
Yeah, so for the people who have got this error, view CLI service, just wanted to confirm whether you did the npm install here also in the front-end repository also.
Okay, Karthik, you have to do the npm install here as well, then it should work.
Yeah, so that's why we mentioned like open both in, both in different ID and run this, because the backend and frontend are having different dependencies. So Just run the npm install and see whether you are getting the same error.
Can you put a yes if you were able to do the npm run build? Okay. Okay, then we are good. Let's move forward. So here what you have to do is, after doing that, there must be a folder over here, okay? This folder, okay? We have all these things built for us, okay? We'll be uploading all this content to our S3, okay? CSS, fonts, JS, okay? Index.html, all of these things we'll put in the folder. So let's get back to the S3 console. Here they're going back to the S3 console. There's an upload icon, okay? Go to Amazon S3, click on the bucket you have created, okay? When you click on the bucket you have created, there's a tab called objects over here. Now we are uploading the objects basically, okay? We have created the bucket and now we'll put the objects inside the bucket, okay? Now for upload, what you have to do is, if you upload one, then you have to put add files and add folders and all, right? So what I can do is, I have opened the list folder over here, and what I'll do is, I'll be going inside and putting I'll do drag and drop for each and every folder, okay? So you also should do that, drag and drop each and every folder. Then the fonts folder, in the index.html, and then the JS folder. Were you able to do that? Were you able to add all these objects? Okay, awesome. We were able to do that. So after that, scroll down and just click on upload. The files are getting uploaded. You can see the progress over here. It's 68, 79, 90, and done. Okay. So now we have uploaded all our objects to the bucket. Okay. You can see them over here. Now I have to close this window. Okay, I'll close it. After closing it, I will go to the properties. Okay. Now what we want to do is, we want to create a static website, right? We want to host a static website out of this. On the AWS Serverless Workshop bucket, go to the properties section, scroll completely down. You can see a static website hosting bar. Can you see that? Static website hosting bar. Over there, do a edit. Okay. So in the edit right now, disable is selected. But what we want to do is, we want to enable static website hosting. Correct? So now you need to click on enable. Okay. Once you click on enable, there will be an index document you need to specify for your home or default page of the website. So what we'll do is, we want the index.html page as the default page. Okay. So we'll write index.html over here. Before saving the changes, okay, we have doubts. Okay, yes. Were you able to do this? Click on enable static website, go down, click on index document, add index.html over there. Okay, then save the changes. So let's recollect. So far what we did is, we created a bucket, we added objects to our bucket, we went to the properties section, and we hosted this as a static website. Okay, so I think we are done, right? What do you all think? Are we done? Now, will this URL work when I click on this? Let's give it a try. See, Ankita is getting a 403. Let me also click and see. See, I'm also getting a 403. So that means that when you see over here, go back to the S3 section. What you can see over here is buckets and objects not public, right? Since, okay, Vaishnavi is telling, can you show properties again? Sure, Vaishnavi. Just 1 minute, okay? you can see that bucket and objects are not public. Since it is not public, I am not able to access it from the outside web. Okay. So 1 minute, I'll go back to the properties and then we can continue. So I will go back to the AWS Serverless workshop. In the properties section, scroll down to the extreme down of the page. There's a static website hosting option, Vaishnavi. And then there, when you edit it, you will get an option to enable the site static website hosting. I enabled it. And in the index document, I add the index.html because I want that index.html as my default website page. Okay. Cancel. I have done that. You have to save it. Okay. Shall we move forward, Vaishnavi? Okay, awesome. She was able to do that. So now I'm not able to access this outside this, right? Outside the web, like outside from here. So what I'll do is I'll go to permissions. Okay. It says access buckets and objects are not public. So what we'll do is we'll see there's a bar named block public access section. Go over there, edit. Disable this checkbox. Okay. We are giving all the public accesses. Right now it was blocked. Now we are giving all the public accesses. Then save changes. For saving it, it will ask us that you are making everything public. Are you okay with that? So you have to press a confirm over here. Are you all with me until now? Okay, awesome, great. So we have done this, okay? We have completed this, okay? Now, let's see what we are getting. I'll refresh this. I'm still getting access denied. Oh, why is that so? So what you have to do over here is we need to add bucket policies as well, okay? So for adding the bucket policy, we go to edit, okay? So you can see some examples also for the policy, and right now we are creating the policy over here itself. The very first thing we'll do is in the principal section, add double quotes and add star. We want everyone to get the access, okay? After doing that, you in the right side, you have to type S3 because we are doing all the settings for S3, correct? So we have given all actions. Now,
from where we got this bucket policy, can you show again?
Where? Okay, yeah. On the same page, you can find it on the same page. Go to the workshop, serverless bucket.
Yeah, Kinnari, I can explain. Like, so Ankita, you had the block public access one, right? Below
Yeah.
that itself, there is a bucket policy. You can edit it.
Bucket versioning, I am able to see.
After that?
After that, tags.
Okay.
Go down, go down, go down. So she's on the static website hosting page, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
The permissions one.
Permissions, okay. Yeah, block public access and then, okay, got it.
Yeah. You can continue.
Okay, awesome. So we did this as star, so everybody will be able to access it. Now let's go to the actions part. I added this, right? What else does this want? Okay. Okay, now here you will type get object. So what action does everyone can do is the get object part, right? You want everyone to get the access to get the object. Okay, so we are adding that, and now we'll add a resource. So when you click on add a resource in the S3, we'll select our object, and in the bucket name, we need to give our bucket name. So our bucket name was AWS Serverless workshop, right? And now in the object name part, so if you give a particular object name, it will give access to that object itself, okay? But we want to give access to all the objects. So we are putting an asterisk over here, okay? Add resource. So now you can see you have the AWS bucket name over here and it will give access to all the objects. Okay. AWS Serverless workshop. Yes, correct. Name is correct. Are you all with me?
How did you reach this resource modal?
When you have an option over here at the right, okay? Click on the add a resource part and click add.
Okay, yeah.
Got it?
I am not getting this add actions. Like add actions is there, but that all services you are in.
First, no, you have to choose a service. You choose S3, right?
Okay.
You choose S3. After that, after choosing S3, no, you'll get an option of creating, like what access do you want to give to S3, right?
Get objects.
Get object.
Okay. And
the get object part, and then you'll get it in the action.
okay.
Okay, are we good?
Then resources. In the resource type, we need to select
the object and then give the ARN.
Okay, okay.
So just to add a point, so what we first did was making the bucket public, right? So we made bucket public, which means like anyone could access, but that wouldn't allow any random user to go and access. Now what we are saying, you know, people, any principal should be able to get object from this resource. Okay, so that is what we are doing now.
If they are good, then you have to save these changes. So now
one more question, sorry. So basically, when I'm adding the resource, by mistake, I did for my object, get object. Can I edit that?
Yes, you can always go and edit it.
Okay, just I type star there and it should work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Karthik. For now, we are making it all public access, but then in further, while we'll explain CloudFront to you all, we'll give a gist about how we can block the public access, and we can give access based upon what we want, right? That will be covered in a bit. Let's just complete this one. So everyone's with me? Okay, awesome. So we are nearly done. Now just let's go over here, do a command R. Now, boom, we have the application up and running. So what we can do is we can put a URL to be shortened. Okay, I have some URL. Okay, maybe not this one. Keerthana, could you please help me with a long URL?
Yeah, sure. Okay, now I also have to find command C.
No worries. Anybody can send a long URL, please.
Yeah, I have sent you one.
Okay, awesome.
In Google, in Zoom.
Got it. So what I'll do is I want to shorten this URL. Okay. Now I'll say get shortened URL. It's for all echo new echo dot, right? Now I'll copy this. I got a short URL, right? I'll copy this. I'll click on command tab, command V, and here we are. We got redirected. So our application is basically running. Are you all able to do this?
Anamika, so what is your question?
Yeah, so actually this URL, right, to access the S3 resource, I forgot, like, where can I get it from in the S3 console?
What URL are you telling? Acha, 1 minute, I'll show. 1 minute. Go to Amazon S3, okay? In the S3, you can go to your bucket. When you go to your bucket, in the properties section, where we created the static website hosting, right? Go down over there. There is a URL given. Can you see this URL?
Yeah.
Bucket website endpoint. You have to click there, and then you will be redirected over here.
Thank you.
No worries. Yes, others I see a couple of no's. What issues are you all facing?
So maybe, you know, Karthik, can you share your screen? Maybe we can.
I'll stop sharing. Yes,
we can just see anyway.
Yeah. So I just gave a URL, whatever you gave. I just click on shorten URL. I didn't get anything over in shorten URL.
Can you just do a F12 just to see whether there is any error?
The developer tools. Can you open that? Yeah.
Go to console. It's saying 404 not found.
Okay, I made this shorten to a create short URL. I think it didn't change over here.
You would have to change. So in what you can do is
Gateway, right?
Yes.
yes, or you can edit your code also. But this,
Given already a short URL.
but that is shortened, right? The endpoint you are hitting is shortened.
Yeah, but I think I'm okay. Should I change the code to create short URL then?
Maybe you can edit this one itself.
But I have to change in both integration and roots, right? Then.
Yeah, then maybe I can show you where you have to change. You have to open the code. So Shanmapriya will get back to you 1 second. In the code, can you open source?
In the backend, man.
No, UI only. UI only.
Okay.
Keerthana, just a minute, before we get into the solving doubts part. What we can do is, could you please share the feedback link? So in the meantime, since we have 3 minutes left, can you all please give us the feedback? We'll put a feedback link in the chat, because your feedback will help us improve in the next coming workshops. Keerthana, could you please add the feedback link?
Yes. 1 second. Idea boards. Okay, I forgot what was the link. Just 1 second.
Sure. So, folks, we are done over here.
Yeah, sorry. In the meantime, in the Slido app we send, you can go to that and go to the polls tab. There you would see a poll. So
You pasted a Slido link in the chat, folks. Could you please access that and go to the polls?
Yeah, Karthik, you can continue. We'll just figure it out.
Yeah, where should I change it out? In the UI or the backend one?
But UI only. So you are hitting a different endpoint. That's the endpoint we had configured, right? So go to home. In the views. Can you scroll down a bit? If you see here we are calling /shorten. You would have to
This one, right?
Yeah, specify your endpoint. So Gautami, these logs are like from the UI, what logs you would get is mostly the console logs. Even I am not sure how to, is there a way to get those logs in the CloudWatch? Yeah, it's something definitely we can spike on. And Shanmugapriya, were you able to access, like when we had configured the course, right? Did you give all like star for allowed methods?
Yes, I gave all. Like in which part we have to give? Can you repeat that? I'll check once.
In the API gateway, there were in the left hand side there was course.
Yeah, I gave all methods.
Okay.
Sorry to stop here, but I changed it to create short URL and did a build as well.
You have to upload this again on S3. The build all the files.
Okay.
Or just I think just JS part should be fine.
Should I remove them off then?
You haven't opened. So there was one statement like versioning, right? We didn't do that. So what would happen is when you drag and drop the same content or same files, it would override whatever is there. So you can just go to dist, drop everything that is there in the dist folder. Yeah, upload.
So we have an enabled versioning. Okay. The 3 places it fine. Okay.
Great,
Oh,
you are getting it.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we give? Oh, you had to create account. I think you are able to just give without creating account, right?
It's saying 401 for me.
Okay.
Like enter code here, and that below that it is saying request failed with status code 401. The link you shared.
Okay, maybe one thing I can do again, I can go here, Command C. Is this the link? Maybe try just hitting it once again.
Yeah, same request failed with status code 401.
Okay. Yeah, you can share feedback with me or Kinnari. Meanwhile, I think two, three people were facing calls issue. So can you share, any of you share your screen?
Yeah, Keerthana, do we have to wrap up first and then we can continue with the Q&A so that other folks can drop off?
We had the cloud front also, right?
So yeah, if you can do that quickly, then other people can drop off if they have completed the exercise, you know.
Yeah, so what we will explain now is about the, CloudFront. So now we have our bucket, public. It is accessible to everyone, which is not a good practice. Similarly, it's just the application is hosted on one region, right? So what would happen is when, people are hitting every time your S3 is getting the load. So what CloudFront is, it's another service, for distributing across the network. So what it would do is, let's say any dynamic web content is there, it would distribute the content so that your web service speeds up. Okay. So all the cloud, when you create a distribution, you would be creating, nodes in different parts of your network or, throughout the world, so that whenever, you are hitting a CloudFront URL, it would be routed with the lowest latency. Okay. And the content would be delivered with the best performance. And the features are like, one scaling and all, everything would be there. Then reducing the latency is there. Then there is encryption also, so security is also there. And what all? Yeah, I'm just running out because we are also nearing the end. Features maybe, it's just basically the service is for distributing your content throughout the network so that you can access it with a low latency. This would also help you, create a domain name. You can integrate with Route 53 and all, so you can create your own domain name and all. So all these things you would be able to do once you have created a CloudFront distribution. Pricing is like, if you are on free tier, you have 1 terabyte of data transfer out, like that much data, people are accessing, you will be free. And around like what is this 1 crore? I'm not able to figure out. Yeah, so many zeros, right? That many HTTP or HTTP requests are free. And otherwise, when you are on, connected to the India location, so the first 10 TB data transfer out, you will be just having 109 cents. For the next 40, just 0.85 cents. Similarly, it goes on. Okay. Now the hands-on part, which is like the last part. So what first you can do is, those whoever have working code, what they can do is just go to your bucket, which is this bucket, right? AWS workshop, go to the properties, sorry, not properties, permissions, block all public access. Okay, now we are not going to allow any users to perform or, get object. We have blocked this. So let's just check whether it's blocked or not. AWS server web. Yeah, it's saying 403 forbidden. Cool. Now what you can do is go to the CloudFront. Okay, you will be having a different thing. I had already created one distribution. What you can do is just create a distribution. Okay, select the origin domain. So we already have something hosted on S3, right? Even though it's not public, we have something hosted on S3. You can select that one. So the one that we created now is AWS Serverless Workshop. You would select that. Okay, this is optional. You needn't give it. And S3 bucket, if you see, if the bucket is having public access, you would be able to access it. You needn't do anything. But let's say bucket can restrict access only to CloudFront. So we have now blocked the thing, right? We have blocked all public access. So what you would have to use is this origin access identity, which we will create one. So if you see, there is origin access identity. You have to create a new origin access identity and just click on create. Okay. And the bucket policy, what we can do is we can try updating the bucket policy automatically. If it fails, we can go and recheck. So what you are now saying is you are creating an origin access identity, which is basically saying, this which is like a identity for your CloudFront. And then what you would have to do is in the S3 bucket, you would have to specify, okay, this origin should be able to access our resources. So what we are specifying is, directly update the bucket policy so that this origin access identity can access it. We'll see if it runs into some error, we can go and manually update it also. Header, we needn't add any of all these things. Path pattern, HTTP, all those things is not required. What is required is under settings, you would have something called as default root object, which is like, the object that your user should see when they hit this distribution. So you have to specify index.html, which is the entry point for our application. And then just click on create distribution, which would start creating. It would take few time. And as I said, since it might be because we already have updated one policy, right? That might be the reason we might be having this error. So is anyone doing along with me or just watching the demo? Okay, yeah, people are doing. So now that we have got this error, right, what you can do is you can go here to the S3. Okay, we can edit the bucket policy. Meanwhile, the CloudFront is getting deployed. So you can go here, edit the bucket policy. So now what we need is, okay, resource is the same, like they should be able to access this resource, and access action is also get object, but the principle is different. It's not star anymore. What you have to do is, okay, specify your origin access identity like this. You have to give AWS, and then you have to give the ARN of your origin access identity. Now let me see whether I can find the origin access identity from here. If you say CloudFront, there is origin access identity is here. Okay, there is name. Okay. No. Okay. That is fine. So I can show the model of ARN. I think I have somewhere. Let me just check 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I have got it. So I will share this also. Inside this, you have to give like this. I will send this in Zoom chat also. So this is a typical ARN of a CloudFront origin access identity. Okay. Command V. One thing you have to do is go to your CloudFront. So in the origin access identity, right, you would be having this ID. Copy this ID and paste it instead of this ID. Command V. And then just save. Okay. Now let me see whether our distribution was also done. Distributions. Yeah, both are like done. So which one is the latest AWS serverless? Just click on it. You will be able to see the distribution domain name. Select it, go to a new tab, paste it. Will it come? Fingers crossed. Yep. So now your bucket is also private. You have created a distribution also, which would spread across the network, right? Whole worldwide. So your content would also be, delivering fastly to the clients. So this is the main basic use of CloudFront. Yeah, so you would be able to distribute across network and people would get it.
When I'm trying to update my principal, it's saying invalid principal format.
Okay. What you have to do is principal, give a colon. After that, open an object, specify AWS as the key,
Okay.
give a colon, and then this one.
Okay, so it will be an object and then with AWS as a key and
Yes.
this one.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so this is all about CloudFront. So simple, right? We are able to create a distribution that is spread across the network, and it would cache also the content sometimes, so that people can easily access. So that way it is delivering in the low latency.
I am still getting 403.
Okay. What about others who were doing along with me? Same here. Did you change this ID like I mentioned?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you can share.
Sure. So this is the bucket. Okay. In permission, I have given like this. This is the ID. CloudFront, I have this ID.
Okay. Can you go to the distributions?
Distributions, okay.
Select it. Yeah, open it. This is where you have been going, right? This distribution name. Distribution.
Okay. This
Not
one.
the other one. Distribution domain name.
Okay.
The first one, so first one in the details, first one. That
This
is how the distribution name. You won't be able to access S3 anymore. This one you would have to access.
Okay, so do I need to change this value with the value?
No. That is origin identity, right? So you have created an identity for this distribution, and you are saying if someone with this identity is coming, allow that. Maybe
So I
you
need
can
to hit this one.
Try opening it. Yeah, your bucket will not be able to access. So no one, having that bucket URL would be able to access anymore. We have made it private only.
Okay, so this is still required, like, because I'm not able to access this. CloudFront is accessing this, something like that.
CloudFront is accessing this. You have hosted the content, but only your CloudFront will be able to access this content.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. What about others? Were you able to get this? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Kinnari, over to you.
Thank you, Keerthana. So, folks, with this, we come to an end for our workshop. And I hope you all really liked the workshop and it was helpful for you in, further making AWS serverless solutions for your applications. And you can anytime reach out to us if you have any queries and all. You can comment on the meetup itself, the meetup event, and we will always try to help you out. I only see very few feedbacks. Could you please add your feedbacks? It will really help us in the upcoming sessions. So yes, and I look forward to having all of you in the next future sessions as well. Any feedback for us? You can call it out upfront as well right now. Now is the time you can unmute yourselves and we can have a chit chat.
Hey, hello Kinnari and Keerthana, so it was a very informative session since I am new in AWS, but today I learned many new things, even I was not aware. But I could not hands-on because of I created my AWS account late, but really it was really awesome. Yeah.
I'm glad, Sachin, you liked it, and I hope it helped you a lot. And anytime, if you have any queries, you can reach out to us on our chats as well, Sachin.
Kinnari, so I have one question like for testing purpose, this is the process like we are creating the endpoint and those other things. Is that part of the testing as well? Since I'm from QA background.
Yes, Sachin. So whenever we create the endpoints and all, I myself am a QA. So yes, we do
Oh,
test all these things. Yes.
okay.
We test.
Okay, definitely. Then I'll reach out to you, Kinnari, after this.
Sure. Anytime.
Thank you.
Kinnari, one question. So whatever we have built today, including the S3 buckets and everything, so any of it, is it chargeable, or should we be bringing down few things so that it's no more chargeable?
So Nana, as I said earlier as well, right? So we explained pricing models in each and every services, right? So there was always one part wherein we were showing that what is the eligibility for the free tier, right? So if you are just using it for, right now for just practicing and all, so then you will be in a free tier itself, right? You won't be doing more than more than 4 lakh GB data, right? So in that brackets, you have some pricing brackets for each and every service, right? So if you are in the free tier bracket, it won't charge anything. But if you cross those limits, request to the function, whatever events you're generating and on, and if it like exceeds that limit, then only you will be charged. Otherwise, it's completely free tier. Whatever we did in the workshop right now, I don't think any of it was chargeable. We used all the free tier resources itself. And
Okay,
always,
thanks.
whenever you configure your applications, you can always have a billing check as well, right? There's a service called billing on AWS. It's very, very useful. I myself use AWS for my personal uses, but then I just every time go and check over there. Okay, so whatever I'm using, whatever services I'm using, are they costing me more, or is it in my limit? You can also set a limit over there that after $10, send an email that, okay, you are exceeding the charges. So yes, you can use that. It will be really helpful.
Yeah, but
Yes,
like
yes.
Karthik said, right, it would be delete the services. So once you have gone through, you can delete the services, because what do and all, then I forgot to delete it. And when the free tier was over, it started deducting from the my account. So yeah, like Karthik, I also had that experience. So it's always better to
Delete the services, probably.
Yeah.
You should.
Again, if you are worried about the policies and all those things, what we can do is we can share, what we have done today. We will try to share the recordings. We have to just check the guidelines and all. Otherwise, we will share the recordings, or else we would share the flow also with you guys, so that if you need any time, you can go through it and do it whenever you want.
Yeah, thank you so much. By the way, this session was really helpful. I was charged multiple times in AWS itself, so I was little curious that, okay, should I be doing this or not?
Yes. Every time you can use any services, and you can always check the billing dashboard so that you're not charged, and always set that alert emails as well. So whenever my resources go up beyond the free tier, I always get an alert email. So I go and delete those resources. So it's better to do that.
Yeah, we'll keep pinging you for that.
Sure. No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, people. Keerthana, we can stay back.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.